Okay, so it's just connecting. I think we're probably connected already, but it doesn't look like it in my end. Here we go.
Dramatic pause.
Dramatic pause, exactly. Right, there we go. We are live. Myself and Natalie Balmain are live. This is exciting. Right, okay. So if you're with us right now, hi from myself. This is Natalie.
Hi.
Natalie, please say hi.
Hi everyone. It's nice to be in front of you. I can't see you, but
so if you're watching, we invite you to ask us questions. Just put them in the chat section that you'll see. I think it's below your video, or it might be somewhere else if you're on a phone. I don't know. But if you just put some questions in the chat section for us, that would be fabulous. We'd love you to interact with us. But we will be talking a lot. We're going to be talking a lot about Natalie's crazy careers she's had, and she's a very versatile lady. And we'll also be chatting about type 1 diabetes and mental health and stress and things like that. So if you just joined us, please let us know you're here by saying hi. And hi, Natalie. So Natalie.
Hi.
You are Natalie Balmain. We first met. It was November
2018.
Yes.
Yeah, at the JDRF Promise Ball.
Yes.
Organised by the lovely Debbie and Ella May Marsden. Yes.
Debbie Marsden.
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, Debbie, if you ever watch this.
Yeah, she sometimes tunes in. So hi, Debbie, if you're there.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen with the ball this year.
I know. Well, I guess we don't know what's going to happen with anything. I was going to do Tad North in September. I don't know if that's a spoiler. I was going to do Tad North in September, but yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
The Tad London was supposed to happen in September as well, wasn't it? Because it was rescheduled for March. But I don't think that's definitely not going to happen. If no theatres are open, if I'm not doing pricks, I don't imagine I'm going to be at Tad or at any event where there's lots of people anytime soon.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I don't.
Hey ho, it's better to be safe than sorry. That is for certain.
Absolutely.
So guys, we've got a few people watching. If you've just joined us, I have got a special treat for you this evening. I have put fake eyelashes on. Can you see? I put fake eyelashes on because Natalie always has lovely, lovely eyelashes. And I thought if I'm doing a bit of modelling, I should get glammed up.
Absolutely. Into the spirit.
Not only have I put fake lashes on, I've put pleather trousers on. And wait for it. Heels.
Oh my goodness, you're putting me to shame. I've got my gym gear on, so
yeah, but look how fabulous you look. I haven't worn heels, I don't think, in lockdown or fake eyelashes. So there we go.
There you go. It's a special treat. Yeah.
First time in a while. So Natalie, just to start us off, please do, if you're watching, send us some questions yourself. I'm going to ask Natalie some questions about her type 1 and her career and everything. But if you are watching, send us some questions in on the chat section. So Natalie, tell me about your diagnosis. How old were you?
I was 20. It was 3 months before my 21st birthday. I was diagnosed, and that was 2007, without giving away my age. But yeah,
I'm totally going to say what your age is anyway, because it's the same as mine. Natalie's 34, okay, right. Everyone, she's 34.
Yeah, well, I'm still pretending I'm 24. Still pretending. Look, I don't know if I'm getting away with it.
34 is young. It definitely is.
You know what? It's a great age. Do you know what? Your 30s, I find for confidence that they're so much better than your 20s. Yeah. You're so much more self-assured. You know what you want. You know what you don't want. It's great.
Exactly. You've figured all that out.
Absolutely. But yeah, no, I was 20 years old, and you know, I was studying. I was going out every weekend, smoking and drinking and having a good time, and I was planning to be a dance teacher. My career, like, I was studying, but I was teaching dance on the side while I was studying, and that was what I wanted to do. And unfortunately, my diagnosis, although the early parts of it, you know, they caught it and I was correctly diagnosed, I was kind of left out in the wilderness without much information to begin with. And I just had so many hypos that led to seizures from dancing. I gave it up. So it changed the whole course of my life.
Oh, yeah, of course it will. Especially, I mean, I can completely relate to that because I studied musical theatre. I went thinking I was going to be a dancer and then went down the acting route instead. So yeah, especially at that age, I wonder if it's something, I don't know if there's any people watching that were adults when they were diagnosed. I wonder if it's something a lot of adults feel being diagnosed with type 1, that you're left out in the wilderness, because
the under 18 pathway is fantastic.
Yeah, apart from when it comes to that transition period, I don't think a lot of hospitals have got the transition period right for people, and that's something I want to work on a little bit. I need to speak to the right people, but I've got some ideas around that. I don't think people should transition at 18, but anyway, that's another topic for another time.
A whole other topic.
But I wonder if that's something a lot of people feel. If there's anyone watching who's diagnosed as an adult, how did you feel being diagnosed as an adult? Let us know. Bob, hello, Bob. Bob says hi. Say hi to Bob. Bob Nelson.
Hi, Bob. Nice to meet you.
Thank you for joining us. So if you've got any questions at all while you're watching, just drop them in. So you were 20. So you've had it 14 years almost now, is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It'll be 14 in a few months. Yeah.
So where were you studying at? Whereabouts were you?
I was in Manchester.
In Manchester. So how did you go from, what did you study actually? That's a better question.
English language and literature.
How did you go from studying English to doing a bit of modelling, a little bit of acting in TV adverts, to then starting a clothing line, to now being the chief exec of a private hospital? How did all that happen? Tell us.
Sounds hilarious when you say it like that. Yeah, I mean, I was studying English. English was like, that was my kind of backup plan from dancing. And I thought maybe I might be an investigative journalist or something like that. And obviously diagnosed in my final year. And I decided I wanted to work for the NHS. So I had my day job I always had a day job, and I was sort of started out as a comms officer in the NHS and worked my way up. And I think it was before I started my career. I was in my last year of study. I got scouted in Manchester on the street, and I thought it was one of those jokes where they try and like rip you off for money. But I went along to the day, and I had a really nice photographer, and she was just, I don't know, she was really supportive, because I was a very awkward, geeky child with big frizzy hair and NHS framed glasses. And yeah, so I thought it was a joke, but I went along, great photographer, and she took some really nice photos, and I ended up getting an agent. And because I'd done acting at college, I got a lot of adverts, because there's modeling, and then there's acting, and then there's actor models who kind of sit somewhere in the middle. And they're a rare breed, actually, because most models are just like stunningly gorgeous but can't string a sentence together. And a lot of actors are like character actors, so they don't really fit in commercials. And so I ended up doing loads of TV ads, which it was a nice thing to do as a supplement to everything.
Yeah, because adverts pay very well, don't they?
You get buyouts for ads. So
I like the buyout.
Buyouts are nice. Yeah, I did a few films, and they weren't as
here. Chris Bright, our Chris says
Hi, Chris.
She's the boss. That's how life happened, because you're the boss. Chris
Thanks,
says,
Chris,
what's going on,
later.
Bob? He says, what's going on, Bob? Not sure my modelling skills will be up to much for your session tonight. Ha ha ha. Leave it to the experts.
I'd just like to point out at this moment that we all remember the Undefeatable campaign, Chris. So I don't think you're going to get away with it that easily.
That's true.
We've seen you model. You look good. I think we should get Chris doing some catwalk.
Yeah, definitely. Chris has to come back on this at some point, because he was the guy that started it. He was my first pick me up.
Amazing. Yes.
I'm going to say something a little bit rude then. I won't. So we've got plenty of people watching. Hi guys. If you're just joined us, please send any questions in. Just let us know you're here. I was asking before, and a few more have joined us since I asked. If you were diagnosed as an adult, Natalie was saying that she felt like she was kind of left out in the wilderness when she was first diagnosed. Did you feel the same? Because obviously I was diagnosed as a child, and it's very different going through pediatric diabetes first. So send us your comments. Let me know your thoughts on that. So you ended up doing some modelling, doing a bit of TV adverts. And when did you decide to create your clothing line then? When did that happen?
So sort of from university, all through doing the TV ads and working quite junior roles in the NHS, I was in a long-term relationship that wasn't very healthy for me. And that ended in 2013. And I took a couple of years to sort of build my confidence back up. I think anybody who's met me since the DOC would probably find it hard to believe that I struggled with my confidence, but I really was. I was like painfully neurotic. So from like 2013 to 2015, I healed myself. And in 2015, I was starting to get involved in the DOC. I used to do fashion and design at college, and amongst other things. And I just thought, I'm going to do something nice. It was like a pet project. It wasn't ever intended to be a clothing brand or what it was. I just thought I'll make a couple of things, put them on Instagram and see if anybody might want one custom made. And within a week of I did a little photo shoot. It was all done for free with my mates who were photographers from modeling and models that I'd worked with before. And I pulled this whole thing off. It looked like we'd filmed it. We'd done the shoot in Milan, but we did it in North Manchester. And it just looked amazing. So put it on Instagram, and within a week, the BBC were on the phone going, I think there's a story in this.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. And that's it's similar to the TikTok girls, I keep calling them, the diabetic duo, Ellen and Beth last week.
Yeah.
Like they just were messing around on TikTok and didn't think about anything about really their Libras on their arm. And then all of a sudden, I was about to say Berlin. That's not where they live. Belfast. That's what I meant. The Belfast, I don't know what is it Telegraph? I'm not sure what it's called. They did an article, and then I think it was the Mirror or whoever picked it up here, and BBC picked it up, and it's just like it's just being seen at the right time a lot of the time, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think it's really powerful, especially with type 1 diabetes, because I call type 1 diabetes like the most widely known and least understood condition ever. I've said it so many times, but it's true, because the media and everyone else just calls it diabetes, and people associate that with type 2 and being overweight or not being healthy. It's very powerful for people to see a type 1. And as you know, we're all generally very healthy, slim, normal people who do, and some of us who do incredible athletic things as well. So I think when you see people, especially like those girls, they're so gorgeous, they're diabetic, it makes a big statement.
Right. Well, this leads into then, I think, our first bit of modelling, because I was talking about your clothing brand, which is it's kind of on the back burner at the moment, isn't it? Because you, the chief exec of this hospital, you've got a lot going on right now.
Yeah, that's taken a back seat for now, but it's coming back. It's coming back.
Good. I'm happy about that. I started making my own stuff.
Amazing.
So that's why I wore this tonight. That's why I thought I'll wear this tonight, and I can model this. So this is one of my Pricks products. Just before we start the modelling, I don't want to fall behind on the questions, and there's a few comments. So just 1 second, I'm just going to catch up on them. Daniel, hello, Daniel Brooks. He was diagnosed at 26, 39 now. Not really much help, really, although I didn't look, nor did I expect it. My dad has been type 1 since I can remember, so always has had his input. He's always had his input and advice. So that's a bit different. I suppose, did you have anyone in your life that was type 1 at all, Natalie?
I'm the only one in my family, and we didn't even know anybody who had it. So it was a complete just deep dive straight into it, learning curve. And yeah, it was crazy because 2007, I mean, I first joined Facebook in 2007. So social media wasn't really established to the point of having community groups like the DOC yet. So it was really hard. it was hard.
Matt says, hi both, hi Matt. I just turned 18 and was an in-betweener, sixth
happy
former.
birthday.
Went straight to the adult clinic. He went straight to the adult clinic at that age. So he was 18 when he was diagnosed, went straight to the adult clinic at that age, and everyone looked ancient. It's so true, Matt. I just think it's too young an age with too many other transitions going on at that time to be being sent to an adult clinic. It's I mean, you won't know, Natalie, because you didn't go to pediatric clinic, but it is so different going to adult clinic than it is going to
honestly
pediatric.
think 20 is too young to go to the adult clinic. I felt completely...
Last week I was saying I think it should be 21 at least. But yeah, I was 20. I luckily was kept with my consultant until I think I was 22 or 23, until I'd finished drama school, basically. Once I'd finished my education, then she let me move on. She didn't want to get rid of me. And that was the right thing. That was exactly the right thing to do. So what should we do first, Natalie? Should we do catwalk or should we do like poses? I can't pout, by the way. I can't.
It's not about pouting. It's not about pouting.
But you're good at pouting. Show me how to pout. What do I need to do with my lip? Do you think of something when you're doing it?
It's a really gentle suck. So the most thing that people do wrong is they suck like this, but it's a really gentle suck. And then the best way to do it is if you actually push your tongue to the roof of your mouth. I can't bear pouting. They tell you sometimes in photo shoots, are like, give it a bit more lip. That's what they say, a bit more lips. They want you to pout and they want you to sort of squeeze your eyes a little bit. Yeah, it's the sort of...
It's the tongue on the roof. I've tried to pout for so long just because I see so many other people doing it, and I just want to have a go at it, and I couldn't do it. But as soon as you said put your tongue on the roof of your mouth, it made my lips go in a different position.
See, you did it. You actually, that was a great pout. I think you've got a modeling career ahead of you too. That's a great pout. That's better than mine.
Shall we try? Do you want to try like poses, like still poses, or catwalk?
Yeah. Well, it's up to you. What would you rather start with? I'm good. We can go with either.
Let's do catwalk.
Let's do okay, right into it. I love it. Okay, we're gonna have to.
I've got my heels on. I'm ready.
Well, you're doing better than me because I've not got heels on, so I'm gonna tiptoe it.
Turning this round, so let's see if I'm in shot. I'm so old, Natalie. I've got up and I'm out. I just need to stretch my hips out.
Okay, I can only go as far back as this, so are you gonna have to?
Right, am I okay here? Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, you're great. You've got the perfect setup there. Let me see if I can go a bit further back here. Okay, can you still see me?
I can see you, yeah.
Okay, all right. So the first thing to do with catwalk, you want to imagine that there is a little string on the top of your head, and the string is holding you up, and the rest of your body is like loose, but not droopy. The string is holding you up, and everything else just sort of falls into alignment. It's very similar to dancing. Okay. You need your head, and this is a similar trick for photography too. You want to just bring your head just slightly forward. It seems awkward, but actually most people naturally let their neck drop a little bit at the back. So you want to bring your head forward, but without lifting your chin. Okay. Hold your arms slightly away from your body, and you'll see why here. If you hold your arm away from your body, arm is nice and slim. Put your hands to your body, your arm just looks bigger.
Yeah. Okay.
So arms slightly away from the body. But again, just remember the first point about the string, because you still want your body to be loose and natural. You don't want to look stiff. Okay. Now, the most important thing when you start your walk is to just have fun. Be sassy, be fierce. Imagine you've just come out of the hairdresser. Your hair looks amazing. You want to give it a little bit of wiggle. You want to lift your knees a little bit, and then just make sure, imagine you're walking a tightrope. So you want your feet to go one sort of in front of the other. There we go. Now just give it a bit more sass. So in every step, you just want a little. With every step, just give it a little Beyonce. So
I remember seeing her Sasha Fierce tour, and like she just at one point all she did is strut across the stage. She wasn't singing it, but I think it was in silence, and it just like you could. It was the best strut I've ever seen. It was amazing.
Honestly, that's it. It's just about being fierce with it. So every step, just be a bit almost heavy-footed with it, like you really.
Okay. Oh
yeah.
Oh yeah.
You're really feeling yourself. It's almost a bit of a stomp. It's a bit of a. Yes. And remember, just keeping your feet in that straight line. That was great. I love it.
I think I could do that. I'm just too short.
Technically, I'm still 2 inches too short. The guidelines always said 5'9" above for girl catwalk models, and I'm 5'7".
Just checking we've not had any. We've got 11 people watching. Hello, everyone. Please do send your questions. Send me your feedback on my strut as well. I want to know what you think of my strut. I'm going to do it one more time, and then we'll come back to having a little chat again. Let me.
Okay.
Right, 1 second. There we go. Right.
I'm leaving it to you. This is your turn on the catwalk.
Okay. So when you do a catwalk, do you often stop part way and then carry on, kind of thing?
Yeah, so usually you'll have, your catwalk will usually be a T shape. Yeah. So you'll have a little bit on the end. So you could usually do a stop halfway and a hit.
I could do like a little bit of this, couldn't I?
If you've got music, it's nice because you kind of get that beat, you know, that end of the 8 beat, and you'll just kind of get a natural.
Put some music on. I know what music I'm going to put on. It's my favourite song at the moment.
I can't wait for this.
A little bit of swearing in at the beginning though.
We're allowed to put.
I just forewarning you, if there's a tiny bit of swearing, I play it in my house. It's the BS word. I play it in my house with my kids. You might not want to.
If you're under 18, just do this.
Yeah. Alexa, please play Good as Hell. Oh, let me see how loud. Featuring Ariana Grande on Amazon Music.
Oh, yeah.
Baby, how you feeling? Hands off, check my names. Baby, how you feeling? Ooh, child, tired of the bullshit. Gone, dust your shoes off. Keep it moving, yes, Lord.
That's it, girl. I love it. Can't improve on perfection.
I'll do one more time.
Okay.
Ready for the chorus.
Amazing.
So loud she couldn't hear me. Right, I'm going to turn back.
Alexa's getting naughty.
Did you see my cat? I've just realised one of my cats is in shot. There he is.
Gorgeous. What's her name or his name?
Henry.
Henry. I've got a little fur baby here as well, but I think most people know my fur baby because he's kind of famous. This is Tito. Tito Jackson III.
Oh. Hello, Tito.
He featured in my the Dexcom G6 sort of question and answer video.
Ah, right.
If you could just see his ears, I look like Dr. Evil, like I'm just sat there stroking my cat, but it's actually my tiny dog.
So you are now, you've obviously worked your way up, you said, from starting in communications, was it?
Yes.
And you chief exec. What's that like?
How did that happen? Yeah, it's mind-blowing actually. I was offered a promotion, which is really, really nice because usually, especially in healthcare, you don't tend to move up unless you move to a different department and apply for a higher post. But I joined the hospital as their director of communications in July last year.
Right.
And at beginning of March this year, the existing chief exec resigned and the board offered me the post. And I just went, are you sure? I've had a birthday since then. I was 33 at the time. And, you know, I've been in a senior management team post for only 9 months. But it was really nice that it was a promotion because it felt recognized. It wasn't off the back of a hour's interview. It was 9 months of hard work. So it was lovely.
There aren't many 33-year-old at the time chief execs of hospitals.
I've been pipped to the post by one person only. I'm the second youngest. The youngest was a lady called Sarah J. Marsh, both women. A lady called Sarah J. Marsh.
Man or woman?
Yeah, and she became the chief exec of Birmingham Women's Hospital at age 32. I think that was about 5 years ago now. So she's probably 37 now. So I'm the youngest existing current chief exec. Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. And so you were diagnosed age 20. I don't know if you've missed that. Natalie was diagnosed age 20. And we've got a couple of questions or comments. I'm just going to read them out really quickly. And then I want to move on to the kind of mental health kind of side of things, if that's all right with you, Natalie.
Absolutely.
So David Stevens says, hey, David.
Hi.
Jason Rutter, hi, ladies. I was diagnosed at 14. Didn't really get the support and ended up with no specialist care until eligible for adult scene service. Do you think level of care are trust location? Or do you think it depends? I mean, does it depend on the trust of a location?
Yes. I think I can give a little bit of insight into this, considering my job. The biggest problem that the NHS has is that the public think it's a single organisation. It's a single pot of money. NHS England is just a funding body and they fund the trusts, and the trusts are essentially independent. They can set their own governance, they can set their own rules to a certain extent, as long as clinical things fit within nice guidelines. But essentially how they operate, and especially in terms of things like individual funding applications, how much money they assign to their own pots, that is very, very individual. And you won't necessarily get the same level of care depending on where you are in the country. And that's really, really sad. It's just, that's just the way that the NHS is set up.
It is. I've always been really, really lucky. Like the Darlington and County Durham Trust, and I've got Dexcom, I've got Omnipod Dash, all on the NHS. I think it's down to mainly my consultant, who isn't the head. I think he was offered the job as head and he turned it down. But Shafi, my consultant, he's just brilliant at understanding what type 1s need, and he just gets it. Like, I knew from the first day I met him, he just got it. He got it because the first thing he said to me was, I can never ever truly understand how you feel.
Kind of a great consultant.
I am not type 1, but I will try my best. And I was just like, that's right, you're the right consultant for me. And I've been with him 5 or 6 years now, I think. But yeah, it is purely, I think you're right, you're definitely right, because that is how the NHS is run. It is down to the individual trust. So it does depend where you are. I know that I hear a lot of bad things about diabetes care in London. It's a highly populated place. It's a very highly populated
as well.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to get decent care in a place that has so much other stuff to deal with and so many other patients to deal with. So yeah, I think it does. I think you're absolutely right there. Jez says, hey ladies, interesting discussion. Thanks, Jez. Hi. Hope you're well. And David Stevens agrees, postcode lottery sucks, but thankfully if we continue to fight, we can see. I'm sure there's more and it's not letting me scroll down. Sorry, David. Let me just make it bigger, see if I can actually see what you said. Oh, dear me. Oh, this is why I should not be allowed to deal with technology. Sorry, David, I can't see the bottom.
But no, he's on to what he was starting to say. I mean, there is a lot that is happening nationally in terms of great organisations such as the Academic Health Science Network that are trying to sort of push innovation and speed up that adoption process and that adoption time into the NHS. So loads of organisations and people and charities working on this subject. I think it's, yeah, we've got a very powerful voice, the DOC. I think it's, in terms of any other medically based community, I think we are probably the loudest.
So I can see the end of his comment now. It says we can see change just like the Libra campaign. That's right. It's a really good example of a Libra campaign. That once upon a time, I had Libra when it wasn't available everywhere, and now, thankfully, due to some excellent people like Partha Carr, like apparently according to Partha, Shafi's one of my consultants, one of the reasons why Libra has happened. So yeah, that's right, David. You're absolutely spot on there. We can make change. We just have to keep trying. So when we were chatting on WhatsApp about what we were going to talk about tonight, one of the things that you brought up was mental health. Because I presume you brought that up for a reason, because you have experience with struggling with mental health down to type 1 diabetes. Is that correct?
I mean, I had issues with mental health in a milder way prior to having diabetes, but certainly, I mean, I had what at the time they called a nervous breakdown when I was diagnosed, and yeah, some really difficult thoughts and feelings, and I really struggled afterwards. It was something that became, and because of my work in the NHS, and also because of the care that I did or didn't get, or the understanding that I didn't get, became a bit of a personal crusade of mine.
Right. I described it last week on my Prick Me Up as it's a grieving process. At age 4, I don't remember. I just remember hiding a lot. But I've workshopped with a lot of people prior to writing Pricks and during writing the show. Because I wanted to try and involve everyone in it in some way and make sure that everyone could relate to it. And that's when I found, when I did workshops with parents, it was often described as a grieving process. And it is, it's a period of grief. It's especially for an adult, I think, especially for someone that can remember what it was like to not be diabetic. Like, I was 4, I don't remember now. It definitely does, don't get me wrong, I do find that diabetes absolutely massively affects my mental health, and I have mental health issues, and like lots of us do. Most of the type 1 community do. It's a fairly normal thing, and that's what people should know in the type 1 community. It is normal to have these issues, have these kind of doubts, these anxieties, it's completely normal. And I reckon if you chat on any of the online communities, someone will always be there to support you, someone who's been through it, who feels the same way. And I think that's a really important message to spread. But yeah, I think especially for you had 20 years of not having to monitor yourself constantly and think about how your body was going to process the food that you were eating, and how. Yeah. So it's a huge loss. It's like a loss of a life, like your former life, your pre-diabetes.
Yeah, and really disturbingly, when I was sick for whatever many weeks or months it was before I got my diagnosis, and I was dropping to very, very dangerous weights. I mean, I'm 5'7", and I went down to just over 40 kilograms, about 6 stone.
Wow, Natalie.
Disgraceful. But really disturbingly.
I can't hide my face. I was just like, ooh.
I mean, I looked like a different person. My nose looked bigger, my ears looked bigger, my hands looked big, and I have tiny hands by all accounts. They looked huge on the ends of my arms. I never had more modelling job offers. I'd never been told I looked beautiful more often. It was that really stuck in my head afterwards. I was an awkward child. I'd never thought of myself as being model material, but I was just sort of getting into that. Then I lost the weight, and it really stuck with me, and I struggled with that. And I've had this campaign about body confidence and all of that stuff, and just being healthy ever since, because it was really difficult for a long time to want to like take my insulin. I didn't want to take it, because to me insulin equaled fat.
When really,
and I thought I was more popular skinny.
The mindset should be insulin equals life.
Absolutely, 100%. But it took me to get to the point of starting to get neuropathy in my feet. And I was waking up in the middle of the night. So I was asleep, lying down, and my feet felt like I was walking over hot, broken glass. And then I was like, I went to see the doctor. They had to give me medication for it. And I went, no. I don't want an amputation. I don't want to go blind. I don't want to have a kidney transplant. Like, no. And it was really tough, because I'd lost so much weight when I was ill that it wasn't just fat, it was muscle wastage. So yes, when I went on the insulin, of course, I had no muscle tone. I looked chubby. I've got a very slim frame. It hung off me, but I knew at that point I was going to have to work hard to get a healthy frame back. I didn't want to be thin. I didn't want to be dying.
Yeah, to put it bluntly, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think it's really great for you to share that with people, share that story, because I think a lot of people can relate to that. I think a lot of young people will relate to that. And I luckily have never ever had any issue with kind of eating disorders or anything like that. And I really fought with myself, trying to decide whether to put a story in the show that I'd heard. So the girl whose story it was is actually, her story is in my show, but it's a different story. It's not the diabulimia story, because the way she found out about diabulimia was she'd gone to a diabetes nurse and she'd lost a bit of weight naturally. She said she wasn't sure why she'd lost it, whether she'd been eating a bit less or doing more exercise. And the nurse had commented and said to her, oh, you are taking your insulin, aren't you? And she went, yeah, why'd you ask that? She said, oh, this is fad in America where lots of type 1s are not taking their insulin, and because it makes them lose weight. And she said it was like a light bulb went off in her head, and it was her DSN, unfortunately, that actually inspired her, if that's the right word, to stop taking her insulin. And then she ended up on life support and very, very ill. She sent me some photos of what she looked like at the time, and it's really sad to look at the photos and see how ill she really looks, because it does. If you're not only are you getting really skinny, but like your skin's not going to be very nice. You're not getting all the things you need. You're not going to look.
Skin looked grey.
Yeah.
It looked grey and powdery.
Yeah, that's like the photos this girl sent me. Yeah, she just looks like completely washed out, and it's absolutely. It's just.
I remember my boyfriend at the time looked at me one day. We were in a photo printing shop, and he said, "You've got way too much makeup on." And I looked at him and I went, "I don't have any makeup on. My skin was so powdery." He thought I had like white powder on my face.
Yeah. Yeah, so I decided not to put the diabulimia story in Pricks, because I thought, what if a young person came and saw Pricks and then heard that story and thought, oh, I didn't know that. I thought it's a really difficult thing to talk about, because it's really great for people to know that there's other people that have been there and gone through it, but you don't want to influence young people are so impressionable. You don't want to influence people down that path at the same time. So it's best that you tell it like you do, like tell the grit, tell them how awful you look, tell them how grey and powdery your skin was. And basically
it was horrendous. Yeah. It was all, it's not a nice look.
Complications started as well, the neuropathy, and I think that's a great way to tell it. Yeah, I was so nervous of being like that DSN that I didn't put it in pricks. But it isn't
difficult. It's difficult. I mean, the media, if you are a journalist and you write for newspapers, there are laws against writing about informing people ways to commit suicide or et al. So it's the same vein, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Teaching people how to kill themselves.
Yeah, basically. Exactly. Because if it continued, that's exactly what would happen. David sent us a few little comments, and he said he did an article about mental health and diabetes, and he'll send us the link after on Facebook.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'd love to see that. Thank you, David. He says peer support is the best kind of support for living with someone. Something so life-changing. That's right. I always say your support network is so important with type 1 diabetes.
My life changed when the first girl who ever found me on social media, I'm going to give her a shout out. Her name's Carrie Hetherington, and Carrie is from New Zealand, and she started a group on Facebook called Females with Type 1 Diabetes, and she found me somehow. I think I'd posted a picture with my pen, and she was the first person who linked me into the burgeoning DOC. So shout out to Carrie.
Hi, Carrie. He says, thanks, Natalie. I think with relation to sharing, sorry, can totally relate to that. It is such a horrible feeling, but we come out of these tough moments stronger. That's right, we do. Jason Rutter says, to add from earlier, he's now getting amazing care from his DSN. Natalie, thank you for being so honest and open. I agree with David. Peer support is definitely great with something so life-changing. Exactly right, Jason. It is. It is.
100%.
Bob says the experience I have with type 1 is having done Steel Magnolias 3 times. The last one your dad directed. My dad. Oh, Bob, you're one of my dad's friends. Hi. I didn't realize that you were one of my dad's friends. Now I think I've heard my dad talk about you. Yes, Steel Magnolias. I'm really ashamed to say this, Bob and Natalie. I've not seen Steel Magnolias. My dad lives in America, so that's why I haven't seen his Steel Magnolias, because he lives in Sioux Falls. That's where Bob's based as well. So yeah, I haven't seen his version, but I've never watched the film either.
Oh.
Is that bad?
There you go. We're still technically in some kind of lockdown. That's surely next on your binge list.
I should watch it. I've watched bits of it on YouTube. I watched the hypo scene because I just wanted to see how it was played, and I thought it was played very well. And my dad said that people in his show they were brilliant. Like he said, the actors were phenomenal, and the kind of like reviews and stuff, and what I've heard people say about it afterwards was it was a phenomenal show. Yeah. And obviously my dad's got a bit of experience with what a hypo looks like, having brought me around from many a one. David agreed. Oh, David hasn't watched it either. Thanks, David.
There we go.
One here that hasn't seen it. I don't know if Daniel Brooks, who commented before, let me just find him, if he's still there. I'm just wondering if it's the same Dan Brooks. Are you from Yarm, Dan? Do you work at Yarm? At the theatre in Yarm? I'm not sure if it is you or not. If it is, let me know. I'm just interested to know. It just occurred to me. Bob says that the movie follows the stage play very close. They're very similar, so that's good. I will watch it. I'll definitely watch it whilst I'm in lockdown. So thank you for being really open there. So why don't we quickly show me how to do some good still images?
Okay, brilliant. Well, you know, but the stills are so fun because essentially you get to just sort of flick yourself around a lot. Now, when I'm gonna preempt this by saying, you are terrible. That's why I'm moving on. I'm just move on.
Go on, Natalie.
Nobody's noticed. It's fine. No, I mean, like, you know what I meant. Anyway, I've totally lost my flow now. You've written
so
okay.
sorry.
No, I'm going to correct it by saying I worked with a photographer once who told me that when Mario Testino photographed Kate Moss, he still took like 1,000 shots to get his one money shot. So even if Kate Moss did 1,000 shots, I was just like, right, fine, just keep the cameras rolling. But the great thing about still photography is you don't have to worry too much about the ballerina typeness of a catwalk, because you actually just come across as stiff in a photo. So the best thing to do in a photo is to just try and be as realistic and as natural as possible. And you'll be good at this because a lot of acting comes into modeling. So, you know, you might just give it a sort of fake laugh, but to the side. So it'd be like, give it again. Go on, but not a giggle, not a giggle.
No, it's totally real laugh. The thing is, when I laugh, like I go like this, and then I get like the twitch.
That reminds me of that girl who recreates supermodel pictures. Have you seen her?
Love her.
I love that. She's like, every photo is like,
it's class. It's absolutely class. No, I can't think what she's called.
no, I can't
She's
now.
brilliant.
She's amazing.
She's
definitely
brilliant. And I've often looked at her stuff and thought, I want to do stuff like that.
No, that'd be great.
Right.
Anyway,
so, if I pretend to laugh.
Yeah, pretend to laugh and just flick your head to the side. You are such a musical theatre performer.
Oh my
So I'm going to give you a tip that might
I didn't
help it.
What did you say?
I said you're such a musical theatre performer.
I'm hoping. Give me 2 seconds, Natalie. I'm just having an issue. I'm just right. That might be better now. Sorry, it was cutting out. I'm sure everyone else will be able to hear us, but just in case, say what you were saying again. So,
I was just saying.
I haven't lost Natalie, have I? Oh no.
I'm here.
Oh, she's there.
I'm here.
Oh, she's there. Lovely. Sorry.
I was just saying you're such a musical theatre performer.
Oh yeah. Well, I studied musical theatre, so yeah.
I know you're so over it. So I love it. I'm gonna give you a tip that I'm hoping will help it link in your brain.
Okay.
So modeling is more like screen acting than theatre acting.
Okay.
Obviously, but so just to make that link, so it's much more subtle. So when you do a laugh, like you naturally do a theatre laugh, but it's more of a like you're in front of somebody and maybe there's a nervous giggle. Like, yeah, exactly. Much
Not
more,
like that cackle there, no.
Much more. But I'm like you. I'm naturally in real life. I'm over dramatic.
Yeah.
So it is more about just toning it down, and it's the subtleties. Okay. So another good tip for photography modeling is to look at the camera like it's your best friend. So absolutely, just it's the eyes, but you're having fun. Your eyes are having fun.
You look really flirty when you do that. I don't know if I would flirt with like.
But that's how I naturally like. So when I'm in front of friends, honestly, I flirt with my friends' parents. I can't help myself. I'm a flirt. So that naturally comes across when I look at the camera like it's
you
my
look
friend.
At the camera and I'm like, oh, she's flirting with me.
But yeah, it's in the eyes. And also everybody, unless you've got a perfectly symmetrical face, that's it. And you're giving it the squeeze as well. I love it.
Or was I?
Yeah.
I always get told that I need to open my eyes more when I'm getting my headshots done for acting. It's always like, Jay, stick your chin forward and open your eyes a bit more because I tend to squint a bit.
No, that was really good. And last tip, I don't care what anybody says, unless you have a perfectly symmetrical face, everybody has a better side.
That's my best side.
No.
That side for me is better than that side, I think.
For me, it's this side.
Yeah.
Naturally better. Although I don't mind doing face on, which a lot of people really don't like doing face on.
Is that the left-hand side of your face, Natalie?
The, hang on, right side of my face.
Okay, I couldn't tell because sometimes it mirrors the image. Right, okay, it's the left side of my face. So we'd be good at taking photos together.
Exactly. We'd always stand on the right side of each other.
I probably got a photo of us together, actually. I'm just thinking,
We must have taken a photo together.
I would have thought we would have done. Anyway.
Well, it's that pesky Partha car was sat in between us.
I know, but he did shift at one point.
He did, because he did his lovely speech.
Oh yes, so. That's right. Pesky.
Hi Partha, if you're watching.
Right, let me just go back to the YouTube chat. Oh, quite a few. Oh, Daniel Brooks from Yarm. It's a different Daniel Brooks. That's interesting.
Hi there, still.
Someone who's programmed prick.
Wherever you're from.
I suddenly thought, oh, is he type 1? No, it's different Daniel Brooks. Someone needs to send me the link. What for? Oh, the link for watching Steel Magnolias, David. I'm sure someone will be able to find it. Gillian says you still have to watch Steel Magnolias. You will laugh and cry all the way through it. That sounds a bit like my show. Chris Bright, what a flirt, Nat. Ha ha ha. Chris, she's a flirt, isn't she? She's a right flirt. Gillian says, thanks for chatting so matter of fact and openly about mental health and how it has been impacted by diabetes and vice versa. So glad to hear that I am not alone. Oh, Gillian, thank you so much for that comment. That makes us feel better as well. So yeah, lovely for sharing that, Gillian. So it's just gone 10 to 9. So we're gonna have to wrap up and tash off, as as my husband always says, but we're not going to be tashing off. Hi. And there's my daughter just saying hi on the chat. Hi now.
I was going to say, unless I flirt with you a bit.
Melissa, do you think Natalie's got a good flirty face? Go on, Natalie. She's gonna be like, yeah, not answering that, Mum. Yeah, so I don't know if GB Doc tweet chat's happening at the moment. Do you know if it is? I think it's gone quiet.
It has gone quiet.
Yeah, I'm not sure that it's on, but I always try and finish anyway in plenty of time for that in case it is on, so that we don't kind of take over their time. So I want to say thank you to every
Thank you for having me.
The thank yous are from me to you. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you to everyone who's watched and sent us messages and joined in on the chat. It's been a really lovely night, actually. Gillian thinks Steel Magnolias is on Netflix and the GB Doc is still running. Great. That's good. Tweet chat's happening tonight. So head to Twitter from here and you can join their tweet chat this evening. So guys, I am going to be announcing, hopefully, I was hoping to announce it tonight. It might be tomorrow. It's got to be this week. When I'm doing a live pricks, I'm doing a live show pricks for JDRF because it's diabetes week next week. And my next week's guest, I believe, she is all better now, having had coronavirus, is Mel Stevenson Gray, the athlete. She was supposed to be a guest a few weeks ago, but she got coronavirus, but she is better now. She was very ill, but she's much better now. So that's who I should have on Prick Me Up next Wednesday in Diabetes Week. And another night next week, I'll be there doing Pricks Live, but it is literally just for that 1 hour. It won't be put online afterwards. You need to tune in and watch it live and donate as much as you would like to JDRF. But I want to say a huge thank you, Natalie. Thank you so much
for having me.
And thank you everyone for joining us. Please subscribe to the channel if you don't already, and find me at Pricks Official on social media. And Natalie has a couple of different ones. If you search at Miss Balmain or at Real Miss Balmain, you'll probably find her. Yeah? Is that right?
Yeah.
Great. Right, brilliant. Thank you so much. Bye, guys.
Thank you, guys. Bye.